What has been interesting, though, is in the speeches that I've heard on the floor today from my colleagues and from many individuals in releases that I've seen, is folks have mentioned their prayer. They have mentioned with God's help we're going to get through this. They have mentioned the struggle that we're going through as a nation and how we're praying for each other. And it keeps reminding me of something. It's a very old psalm of ascent. Psalm 121. When the Jews would come into Jerusalem for the different feasts, they would sing these psalms of ascent as they came off the eastern hills and would start rising up towards Jerusalem. And the psalm they would sing, I think, is pertinent for our time right now. Psalm 121 reads, "I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from?" Now remember, the mountains here is the capital city, Jerusalem. It's the seat of government for them and the center of worship. But it's the seat of government for them. And they would sing, "I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from harm. He will watch over you. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore." It's interesting to me that the people would come in, marching into Jerusalem, the seat of government, singing the song, "I lift up my eyes to the mountain. But where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord." And of all the things that are going on in Washington, D.C. right now, you'll hear people here repeating over and over again, our hope is not in government. Our hope is not in how much money we can spend. We understand full well, when we lift up our eyes to the mountain, to this hill, we understand full well where our help comes from. And it's not from all the folks in this room. Our help comes from the Lord, and we're grateful that he neither slumbers nor sleeps. With that, I yield the floor.